So recently, I did have two more classic Doctor Who episodes to review. The one that I'm going to be talking about today and Survival. But thanks to recent events, I now can extend the classic kind of reviews for a little bit longer, as I have a few more classic stories to review over time, such as the Dalek invasion of Earth from the first Doctor, and a selection of stories under Beneath the Surface. So I'll be able to keep the classic Doctor Who thing, classic Doctor Who reviews going for a little time to come. But anyway, the one I'm going over today, The Twin Dilemma from 1984. This was the last episode of season 21 in 1984, broadcasting in four parts in March 1984, and was also the first official story for the Sixth Doctor. In this particular one, you've got the Doctor, played at this point for the first time by actor Colin Baker. He's just regenerated, and safe to say his companion, Perry Brown, played by Nicola Bryant, isn't entirely sure what to make of him. Which, for regeneration episodes, or first episodes, you can kind of accept that. But, yeah, things don't exactly get off to a great start, with the Doctor acting erotic, the Doctor acting defensive, and eventually attempting to strangle his companion. So, yeah, it gets pretty off. So, in order to try and straighten his mind, he suggests that he essentially banish himself to the asteroid of Titan 3, only to discover a mysterious ship, a mysterious base on Titan 3. It turns out that the Professor Edgeworth, also known as the Time Lord Asmail, played by Maurice Denham, has recently kidnapped two brilliant twins named Romulus and Remus, played by Gavin and Andrew Conrad. And he has captured them on the orders of a kind of megalomaniac alien known as Mestor. Now, they are having to do mathematical calculations in order to change the orbit of two planets just out from the planet of Jaconda. The thought process being, or seemingly the one that Mestor has provided them with, is that if they can change the orbits of the planet and get them in orbit around Jaconda, they can essentially become moons of Jaconda, and separate time zones. They'd be one day apart, but they can then use those planets for storage for Mestor's race and his people and his ultimate empire. Which seems logical, but it actually turns out that getting the planets would never be able to stay in orbit and would be flown off in all directions, and Mestor actually wants that in order to launch his eggs to various corners of the universe. So it's down to the Doctor, Perry, and Edgeworth, and also a man that they picked up named Hugo, who was seemingly some kind of police officer who'd been sent to retrieve the twins, played by Kevin McNally, in order to rescue the twins, put a stop to Mestor's plans, and ultimately save the universe. Now, when I mentioned to people that I had actually got the Twin Dilemma for Christmas, people were like, Really? Out of all the episodes you could have gotten, why the Twin Dilemma? Well, it was on my list, and to be honest, the Sixth Doctor is one that was always kind of the hardest one to get into. I thought it would be the Fourth Doctor, because his tenure was the longest, but apparently it was the Sixth that I had reasonable trouble getting with. I mean, with all the kind of episodes that I'm building into my classic collection, I can only have about 5 from the first Doctor, 5 from the third, 2 from the second, and yeah, you get it, on and on and on. And surprisingly, I wasn't exactly sure which ones I should go for the Sixth Doctor. I think the main problem I had getting in was because I started with regeneration episodes, and 6 didn't really have a regeneration episode, or when I did get it, it's not so much a regeneration episode for 6 as it is a first episode for 7, that being Time and the Rani. But I finally sat down I finally got it, sat down, watched the Twin Dilemma through, and I also heard some people say that the Twin Dilemma is kind of underrated. And watching it, I can definitely see that. I mean, I've heard people say over time that Colin Baker is probably their least favourite incarnation of the Doctor, and I can also see that, but once again, I don't necessarily mind the quality of the story. I mean, once again, there is, as I've said with other Class Doctor Who episodes, there is a clear divide in between indoor and outdoor scenes. Ones that are sets and ones that are clearly filmed outdoors. But once again, it's not bad. I mean, like most first episodes for each Doctor, you're kind of watching Colin Baker kind of slip into the role of him trying to get down to grips with everything, trying to become the Time Lord, and then by the end of it, he has it. But even then, he does mention that he's not always going to be agreeable, and that maybe sometimes that'll be a good thing. I mean, as he says right at the end of the episode, I am the Doctor, whether you like it or not. Before Perry gives him a smile and he returns it. So, yeah, you do see him kind of slip into the role of the Doctor over time, and while I admit I probably would have preferred what he said he would have wanted for a costume, i.e. something in all black, while the multicoloured coat does look weird, it does slip onto him with time. Eventually, I'm just watching there and I'm not seeing Colin Baker trying to play a role anymore, I'm seeing the Doctor. So, yeah, I do think that the Sixth Doctor's reign is one that's worth taking into account, and I feel it was started off well here with the Twin Dilemma. It probably, like most of the other actors, it would take Colin Baker a few episodes' time in order to fully slip into the role of the Doctor, but you know what, for a first go round, the Twin Dilemma, I think it's pretty good. Is it the best? Probably not, but you know what? For the first time round, I think the Twin Dilemma is a pretty good episode. Anyway, the next one I'm hoping to do is Survival, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, until next time, see ya.